Hello everyone and welcome back to day 4 of the Bernkle AI internship. Over the past 3 sessions, we have built our AI foundation step by step. We started with artificial intelligence, then explored machine learning, and finally deep learning. Today, we are moving into one of the most exciting and fast growing areas of AI, generative AI. This is the technology behind tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Sora, and many others that can generate text, images, music, videos, and even code. But today's session isn't just about learning what these tools are. We are going to understand why generative AI became such a major breakthrough, how it works at a high level, what it can do and cannot, and how it's transforming industries around the world. By the end of today's session, you will see generative AI from a completely different perspective. AI has existed for decades. In fact, we have already learned about artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning in our previous sessions. But before 2022, most people didn't interact directly with AI. AI was working quietly in the background, recommending videos on YouTube, filtering spam emails, suggesting products on online stores, and helping with navigation. Then, in late 2022, something changed. ChatGPT was released to the public. For the first time, millions of people could have a conversation with AI, ask questions, generate content, write code, and solve problems, all through a simple chat interface. That moment changed how people viewed AI. Instead of AI only making predictions behind the scenes, it started creating text, images, music, videos, and code. That's why generative AI became one of the fastest growing technologies in history. Fun fact: ChatGPT reached 100 million monthly users in about 2 months, making it one of the fastest growing consumer applications ever. Now let's answer the most important question. What makes generative AI different from the AI we have already learned about? Traditional AI is mainly designed to analyze existing information. Its job is usually to make predictions, classify data, or recognize patterns. For example, is this email spam or not? Will this customer buy this product? These systems can analyze information and produce an answer. Generative AI goes one step further. Instead of only analyzing data, it can create brand new content. You give it a prompt and it generates something that didn't exist before. For example, if I ask ChatGPT to write a letter, it creates one. If I ask an AI image generator for a futuristic city, it creates a new image. If I ask an AI coding assistant to build a Python calculator, it generates the code. That's why it's called generative AI. Its purpose isn't only to recognize or classify information. Its purpose is to generate new content. So a key takeaway: traditional AI analyze, predict, and classify. However, generative AI write, create, compose, generate. Traditional AI answer questions about data. Meanwhile, generative AI creates new possibilities from data. How does generative AI works? Many people think ChatGPT searches the internet every time you ask a question. Others think it has every answer stored in a huge database. But that's not how it works. Step number 1, the prompt. Everything starts with a prompt. A prompt is simply the instruction or question you give to the AI. For example, explain machine learning, write a LinkedIn post, generate a Python program. Step number 2, understanding the prompt. The AI analyzes your prompt and identifies what you are asking for. For example, are you asking for an explanation, a summary, a letter, or some code? Step number 3, predicting the next word. Here's the interesting part. The AI doesn't think like a human. Instead, it predicts what word, or more accurately, what token is most likely to come next. For example, prompt, the capital of France is three dots. What word, guys, would you predict comes next? Paris. The AI does something similar, but on a much larger scale. It predicts one token at a time based on patterns it learned during training. Step number 4, building the response. After predicting one token, it predicts the next one and then the next. This happens very quickly until it forms a complete response. So generative AI creates responses by predicting the next token repeatedly, not by thinking like a human or copying a complete answer from memory. Earlier, we learned that generative AI predicts the next token. But what exactly is a token? A token is the basic unit of text that AI models use to understand and generate language. Unlike humans, AI doesn't read an entire sentence as one piece. Instead, it breaks the text into smaller units called tokens. A token can be a whole word, part of a word, a punctuation mark, or even a number. Different AI models may split text differently, but the main idea is the same. They all process tokens, not entire paragraphs. How AI generates text? When you send a prompt, the AI first converts it into tokens. Then it predicts the next token, then the next one, and continues this process very quickly until it creates a complete response. Imagine building a sentence with Lego bricks. Each Lego brick is like a token. The AI doesn't build the whole sentence at once. It adds one brick at a time until the final sentence is complete. Generative AI doesn't generate an entire paragraph instantly. It builds the response one token at a time. Did you know every AI model has a maximum number of tokens it can process at once? That includes both your prompt and the AI's response. That's why very long conversations or documents can eventually reach a context limit. The next question is, how can we write prompts that help the AI generate better responses? What is prompt engineering? Prompt engineering is the process of writing clear and effective prompts to help AI generate better responses. Whenever you are writing a prompt, ask yourself these 5 questions. What do I want the AI to do? What is the topic? What format do I want? Who is the audience? And there any specific requirements? Task plus context plus format plus audience plus constraints equal better prompt. Let's break it down. Task, what do you want the AI to do? For example, write, explain, summarize, translate, generate, create. Context, what is the prompt about? Artificial intelligence, climate change, Python, marketing, deep learning, fashion. Format, how do you want the answer? Essay, bullet points, table, email, presentation. Audience, who is the answer for? For example, beginners, university students, children, professionals, parents, CEOs. Constraints, any specific requirements? 100 words, use simple English, include 3 examples, don't use technical terms, and end with a question. Now that we know AI generates responses one token at a time, let's learn how to get better results. The quality of the AI's response depends heavily on the quality of your prompt. This is where prompt engineering comes in. Look at the first prompt. Tell me about AI. It's so broad. So the AI has to guess what you are looking for. Now compare it with the second prompt. Here, we have told the AI exactly what we want. The topic, the audience, the lens, and that we want an example. The clearer your instructions, the better the AI can help you. So, a key takeaway, better prompts lead to better AI responses. Generative AI is a powerful tool, but like any technology, it should be used responsibly. AI can make mistakes or generate incorrect information. Always verify important facts using reliable sources, especially for academic, medical, or legal topics. Avoid sharing personal, confidential, or sensitive information with AI tools unless you are using an approved and secure system, like passwords, bank details, personal identification numbers, private company documents, etc. Use AI as an assistant. Think of AI as your assistant, not your replacement. It can help you brainstorm ideas and improve productivity, but your own judgment is still essential. If AI helped create content for work, school, or a project, be honest about how it was used when appropriate. The best results come from combining AI with the human knowledge, creativity, and critical thinking. Generative AI is evolving incredibly fast, and we are only at the beginning of this journey. Today, AI mainly responds to prompts, but AI agents can go a step further. They can plan tasks, make decisions, and complete multi-step workflows with minimal human guidance. For example, an AI agent could plan a trip, compare hotel prices, and even they book flights. In education, AI can adapt lessons to each student's learning style and pace, making learning more personalized and interactive. Generative AI will continue supporting doctors and researchers by helping analyze medical information, assisting with diagnosis, and accelerating research. It will support healthcare professionals, not replace them. AI is becoming a productivity tool across many industries, helping people automate repetitive tasks, generate ideas, and work more efficiently. The future isn't about humans versus AI. It's about humans and AI working together. People who know how to use AI effectively will have a strong advantage in many careers. Now that we know how generative AI generates responses, let's answer two important questions. How does a generative AI model become so smart? The answer is training. During training, a generative AI model is exposed to massive amounts of text, code, books, articles, images, and other data. It learns patterns and relationships and how different types of information are connected. Training is a long and computationally expensive process. It requires massive data sets, powerful computers such as GPUs, and can take weeks or even months to complete. What happens when you type a prompt into a generative AI tool? The answer is inference. Inference happens every time you type a prompt. The AI isn't learning new information from your question. Instead, it's using what it learned during training to generate the best possible response. That's why you get an answer in just a few seconds. For example, training equals studying for an exam. Inference equal taking the exam and answering the questions using what you already learned. So, training is when the AI learns. Meanwhile, inference is when the AI applies what it has learned to generate responses. So, if training is how AI learns, what exactly happens during training? Now that we know what training is, let's see how a generative AI model is actually trained. The first step is collecting a massive amount of data. This data can include books, articles, websites, publicly available code, research papers, and many other sources. Massive data sets. The more high-quality data the model learns from, the better it becomes at recognizing patterns and generating useful responses. Step number 2, neural network training. The data is used to train a deep neural network. During training, the model analyzes billions of examples and gradually improves by learning patterns and relationships in the data. Step number 3, the model isn't memorizing every sentence it sees. It learns patterns. For example, how words relate to each other, how sentences are formed, and how ideas are connected. This allows it to generate new responses instead of simply copying existing text. Step number 4, foundation model. Once training is complete, we have a foundation model. This trained model can be used to answer questions, write content, generate code, summarize text, and perform many other tasks. So generative AI becomes capable through large-scale training on massive datasets, allowing it to recognize patterns and generate new content. Why do you think AI needs such a large amounts of data to become useful? Just like humans improve by learning from many experiences, AI improves by learning from many examples. Now that our AI model has been trained, what do we actually call this powerful trained model? That's where foundation models come in. After the training process is complete, the result is something called a foundation model. Think of it as a powerful general-purpose AI model. Instead of being designed for only one task, it can perform many different tasks using the knowledge it learned during training. For example, the same foundation model can answer questions like write emails, translate languages, generate code, or summarize long documents. That's why it's called a foundation model. It serves as the foundation for many AI applications. Think of a foundation model like the human brain. Your brain isn't built only for math or only for languages. It can learn many different skills and apply them to different situations. Similarly, a foundation model can perform many different tasks without needing a separate AI model for each one. Examples of foundation models: GPT, OpenAI, Gemini, Google, Llama, Meta. How does the AI remember what we said earlier in a conversation? The answer is something called the context window, which we'll explore next. Have you ever noticed that an AI tool remembers what you said earlier in the conversation? That's possible because of something called the context window. A context window is the amount of information the AI can keep in mind while generating a response. As long as your previous messages are inside that window, the AI can use them to understand the conversation and respond more accurately. For example, if I tell the AI, my name is Jess, and then ask, what's my name? The AI can answer correctly because the information is still inside its context window. However, every AI model has a limit. If a conversation or document becomes too long, older information may no longer fit inside the context window. When that happens, the AI may forget earlier details unless you mention them again. Imagine asking the AI to analyze a 500-page book. If the entire book doesn't fit within the model's context window, it can't consider every page at once. That's why context size is an important feature of modern AI models. So context window is similar as your short-term memory. Imagine you are reading a long book. You can easily remember the last few pages, but you might forget details from the first chapter unless you go back and review them. A context window works in a similar way. It keeps recent information available while older information may eventually fall outside the limit. Today, we explored not only what generative AI is, but also what happens behind the scenes, from training and foundation models to tokens, prompts, and context windows. You now have a much deeper understanding of how modern generative AI systems work. Generative AI is more than just a chatbot. It's a powerful technology that learns from data, understands patterns, and generates new content. Knowing how it works helps us use it more effectively and responsibly. Before we end today's session, let's quickly recap what we have covered. Today, we explored what generative AI is, how it works behind the scenes, and the key concepts that power modern AI systems. You learned the difference between training and inference, how AI models are trained, what foundation models are, how tokens and context windows work, and why writing good prompts is so important. These concepts are the foundation for understanding modern AI, and they will make it much easier to learn more advanced topics in the coming sessions. Remember, learning AI isn't just about using tools, it's about understanding how they work and using them responsibly. In our next session, we will dive deeper into large language models, how they work, their architecture, and why they are at the heart of today's most powerful AI systems.